Today's video will take you through application distribution. So I've just completed, we're at the stage where I've completed my PDA application definition. I have a simple one-screen application here showing me a list of customers. I want to be able to update that list of customers using the synchronize button there to get the latest updates and the latest customer list from the server. So this demonstration will take you through how to set up the BrightServer configuration to be able to, first of all, serve the customer information, and then we're going to deploy the PDA application, the BSP application. We're going to deploy that to BrightServer, and then we're going to take you through the process of distributing that application out to a remote handheld device running BrightForms. So now with my BSP file development complete, the first thing I'll go ahead and do is create a brand new BrightServer project configuration BEP file. And I'm just going to take the table from my definition and paste it into there. All I need to do is just create a new sync point. Now what I actually have is a file, a text file that I'm going to read from with my, so I have my ID field, the first name and the second name for the customers, simple as that. So I'm just going to take a file and add the set, define the file, my data.txt file, and the next thing I need is a mapping. The first thing I need to do is go to the mapping and say that this will be used for a file CSV. CSV stands for comma separated value format. So that corresponds to my the commas are in the commas are the delimiting character in my text file. Then I just select my table that I want to map, and in this case it's a fairly simple mapping because it just so happens that my client table column order is the same as the order of fields as they appear in the file. So that's a fairly straightforward mapping in this case. So I'll go back to my sets, drop the mapping in there. So here we have, so BrightServer now knows how to read this file, and this blue butterfly out here represents the client table 1, and I simply just drag to show the flow of data will be from file going out to the client table. And I just hit save. So that's my BEP file setup completed. Now I'll just run the BrightServer, and then I will go to my I've already got my local host here. I just click add server to bring the local host here. So I'm just going to connect to it. Default password for BSAdmin is change it, CHANGEIT, change it. So the reason why I'm connecting to the server now in the servers window is I need to have a look at my users that I've currently running on the server. I'm going to download the users. So I've got user 1, user 2, I've got the admin account. So the way that the application distribution works is, first of all, once we've deployed the BSP application to the server, then we'll release it. So it's a two-stage process. Deploy is where I take the BSP file and I deploy it to the server. So BrightServer acts as a application definition repository. So I want to send it to my server, and I'm going to say my first release. So I'll just go ahead and deploy my project. So it's gone down as version 1 of my project, and so that's now on the server. So that's the first step completed. The second step now is to release the application to a user or a set of users. So the simplest thing I can do is I can just come to user 1 here and I can type it in, but we've got a nice feature here, the release applications button, where I want to release. I can pick the project, the version, and the user. So we're simulating a case where maybe user 1 is a test account or a super user who will get the early release testing done. So I'm going to hit upload to that change. So BrightServer will now tell me confirm the changes I'm about to make. So I go to my PDA here, and we've just installed BrightForms fresh. So this is starting from absolute scratch on this PDA. So I'm actually going to run in programs now. I'm actually going to run BrightForms for the first time. And the first thing it does when it comes up, it will tell me that there's no project running currently, and it's asking, just also hinting that you can load the project by synchronizing it from this server, and that's what we're going to do. So to do that, all I have to do is go to settings, provide my username and password credentials these are used when I connect to the server. So by identifying myself to user 1, I'm going to get the application that the server has been configured to send to me. So I just need the IP address and the port number for the server, and then I'm ready to synchronize. And what I'll do here is we'll have a look at the trace on the server as it's running. So you'll be able to see what the server is doing while we're doing the application distribution. So there we can see that the user 1 has logged onto the server. The server has realized that this user needs to have the application distribution sent to him, and so then I'll close that. BrightForms is telling the user that it's received the application and was asking the user to restart, so I'll go ahead and do that. This time I will start BrightForms from the start menu. So it starts off for the first time, and we can see the application for the first time running. Now I'll just go ahead and update the customer data now from the server. So the first synchronization gives me the application, the second synchronization gives me the customer data. There we can see there are 2 changed records coming to me for table 1, a customer table. And so the BrightServer has read that data from the file and passed that data to us here on the PDA. Now before we finish this demonstration, I'll just go now and show you, if I go and make a change to this application, for example, if I want to provide a color, and we'll make a background color on this synchronization button to be changed to a blue, for example. I then deploy this application to the server. So I'll say color change. This becomes version 2 on the server. So then what I'll do is I just have to go to my users and change the version that this user is running from version 1 to version 2. And then upload this change, go back to my PDA, hit synchronize again, so they hit the update, they leave BrightForms, come back, so they've got the color change on that screen. So what we've seen in this video is how we can initially get the application from scratch out to the users, and then we can continue to provide them rolling updates from version 1, 2 and so on. That concludes this demonstration. Be sure to check out more of our videos on brightexpress.com.